Hi, it's Rachel. On my channel, I talk about reading and writing, and I have not been on here in a while. Yeah. So last October in my Chaostober vlog, Chaostober was I guess like a challenge slash tag that Danielle was doing at her channel, Danielle Reads, and I feel like a lot of people didn't see the video. But it was cool though because what I did was I decided to make social media a big computer activity. Like, it's 2005, so I only go on social media on my desktop. That was October when I deleted the apps from my phone and started to use it on my desktop only, and it's currently the end of March. I'm still doing that. Much like I said in my October video, I'm so shocked by how much I do not miss it. I barely log in. I check on like 5 people, and that's it. So with that, I deleted those apps from my phone and started using social media on my desktop only, and so that has cut down my screen time. I used to average 4 to 5 hours a day on my phone. Now I average 2 to 3 hours on my day on my phone, and most of it is when I have YouTube videos in the background to do chores and boring things. Also, for Christmas, my husband got me a Switch. This is my first video game console, like new console, that I've gotten since the Wii. Yeah, my first ever console was a Nintendo 64. I'm old. And I'm definitely like a light video game girly. I like Super Mario, I like The Sims. That's what I like. I'd probably really love Animal Crossings. I'd love to get into that. So as a result, I've been working a job and a half. I just don't think in the future, obviously, if there becomes like a very real financial necessity, I'll pick up something extra. But I think what I'm starting to realize is that I really want to live a little bit more slowly if I can afford to do so. And so I can. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop this side hustle and I'm just going to embrace the everything else. So it's kind of a good thing that I haven't been spending as much time on social media because of that. With getting the Switch and getting the Nintendo subscription, I get to play also, like, in addition to my cool Switch games, I get to play the Nintendo 64 classics that I love. And so starting in January, I started to replay Paper Mario for 64 on the Switch. And that being said, the last time I finished a book was January. I haven't finished a book in February or March. I did start reading Gallant by V.E. Schwab because I liked Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil, and I got bored with Gallant, so I put it down. It wasn't the worst thing ever, I just wasn't really engaged. So that's what happened to that. That was in February. I haven't even touched a book since then. And I think by going more analog, by using the desktop for most things that I could have been using my phone for, the only thing I have on my phone are YouTube and Goodreads. And I occasionally read like some like news articles. I try to make sure the algorithm gives me like sciencey stuff and happy stuff because we are not meant to know every single bad thing that happens every single moment of every single day. It's very overwhelming. With all of that, I feel like it's made me, I don't know. I feel like like I said, I want to move slower. I feel like I am moving slower. I feel like I'm not, I feel like if I look back, I wanted to just erase through as many books as I can because there were so many books I wanted to read, and being chronically online, you're aware of like all the books that are out there at any given time. And I think that's good. I think it's good to read a lot. It's good to have so much fun when you're reading, and if you like doing challenges and reading 100 books in a year, like that's so cool. Like do that. I think that for me though, like I look back at about 2016, I was halfway through my bachelor's degree, and I made a very intentional decision 10 years ago to pare down my hobbies a bit because I was just doing so much. And I had so many hobbies, and I wanted to focus a lot, especially on my writing, but also on reading. Reading for fun, because when you get a bachelor's in English, you read all the time anyway. And one thing that's interesting is, yeah, I was halfway through college, but also that was the year I joined social media. I did not have any social media until 2016. I know that's weird. I would occasionally lurk in like forums and stuff like that from way back in the day, but yeah, like I just didn't use it. And I think it's interesting that I started to really feel like I didn't have time for things that year You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe that was kind of the cause. Like, I didn't realize how much time I was spending on my phone. And now that I have this time freed up, like I talked about in the October vlog, I wanted to do a puzzle, so I did like a puzzle. I haven't finished it yet because I got distracted and didn't feel like it, so it's just sitting like half completed in my basement. Um, but like I'm into video games again. I would love to take up piano again. I think it's really sad that I don't really remember how to play the piano at all when I played it for like 9 years. Like, I mean, I'm sure I remember a little bit of it, but I can't like do much from memory anymore. So I don't know. I just feel like even though like when you think about it, I cut my screen time down in half, 4 to 5 hours to 2 to 3 hours. That's 50% per day. Um, and I don't feel like, I guess I kind of expected that if I cut social media out of my life, I'd be more productive. I'd read more, I'd write more, and stuff like that. But I think it's made me realize that, and I think a lot of people come to this conclusion when they cut back on social media. Like I know that the book Leo talked about this is she started to realize that reading is not always, it doesn't always feel like a leisurely like hobby. Like you have to use your brain for it. It's definitely a brain on thing. Even when you're reading brain off books, like your brain is doing so much when you're reading. And so if you're feeling particularly tired when you've been really busy and working way too much like me, it can be, it just doesn't, it doesn't always make sense that reading is your go-to at the end for everybody all the time. And so for me, I've been popping on my kind of, let's be real, Paper Mario 64 is a very easy video game, and I'm popping that in and I've been playing. I've been doing all the side quests too. I feel like I've been giving myself permission to just do some things in my spare time that are for fun, that don't feel very productive. I feel like, I don't know if it's, I think some of it is I have more time freed up, but I think some of it is literally the influence. I always felt like I wasn't directly influenced by the amount that people read and stuff like that, but I just feel like the rush of the internet and everybody's always doing stuff and everyone's always reading stuff and writing stuff, I guess it made me feel like that a little bit. And I guess maybe I don't feel like that from YouTube because even though I follow people primarily that read and write, it's not a constant reminder of everyone's productivity because no one's uploading every single day. No one has something to say on YouTube every single day. It's like once a week at most for many people. There's that, and then if I look at it, a lot of the YouTube creators that I follow are not reading 100 books a year. Like a lot of them are reading at a slower pace like me. So I think it's probably a bit of both. I think it's more time. I think it's also being kind of like inherently de-influenced. I just feel less rushed in my life now. And I think a lot of it has to do with, I mean, I think it all goes back to the day that I decided I sat by a lake and I deleted all my apps. I highly recommend it. I feel like a lot of people view social media as an all or nothing thing. We're going to use all of it or we're going to use none of it. Highly recommend just taking it off your phone and using it on a different device that isn't so mobile. Like a desktop, I can only use it when I'm sitting at my desk. But even a laptop, you can't just, I feel like it's more of a nuisance to bring your whole laptop with you everywhere. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you should use a tablet because that's a little bit more portable. You know what I'm saying? I highly recommend trying this if you want to try to go a little bit more analog where you're using your phone for limited things. One thing I want to get, because I love physical CDs especially. I'm not really a vinyl girly. I'm more of a CD girly. I have some vinyl. But I'm like kind of out of space for CDs, and so what I want to do is I want to get like a proper like media tower that rotates so I can have all of them in there and have more space so I can rely more on CDs when I'm listening to music at home. My car does, I got lucky because my car has a CD player and I can connect with Bluetooth. And I kind of use a mix of both. I don't think that the online media, like online music media, I don't think distracts me as much though. But still, it's like I feel like I'm looking around online. We're looking at this anti-Brainrot content now because I think a lot of us are starting to realize how much we don't like the internet anymore. A lot of people want their electronics to be single use. They don't want their phone to become oh crap, I can't remember who said this in a video, but she called it literally the one ring because that's what our phones are now. They're the one ring, okay? They have everything and it's making us crazy. And I guess what's crazy is I never thought that I would view the internet and view constant connectivity on our phones as brain rot. I never would have thought that that's where my brain would go, but when you think about it, the internet today is not the internet of 15 years ago. We didn't have algorithms that were designed to suck you in the way that they do now, and we didn't have the short form content that makes your brain just want more and more and more and more and more all the time. There weren't as many people trying to influence you. Like, if you go back, pretty far back into YouTube, back to back then's brain rot, it wasn't trying to influence you, it was just trying to make you laugh a lot of the time. It was just a different animal, and I think that we've had enough time to start to romanticize the past. People online are starting to romanticize the 90s, the early 2000s, which I know it makes me feel old too, but I think one of the things that we look back on and appreciate about those times is the technology. Like, we had so much good technology, but it wasn't 24/7. I think we're tired of constant connection. I think we're tired of algorithms. I think that, kind of like in the book that I read last year, The Anxious Generation, we're also starting to look at kids. And I feel like this was kind of a huge thing for me too, seeing how this has impacted particularly Gen Alpha, basically the generation that was born with an iPad in their hands, and seeing what constant tech use has kind of done to some of them. I think that a lot of us are having this moment of clarity of just do I really need my phone to have this much stuff on it, where I can carry it with me 24/7, access it 24/7, So what does this mean for my channel? I don't foresee my channel changing a whole lot because, let's be real, I read at kind of a slower pace anyway. I do want to prioritize on my upcoming break in a couple months, getting into a writing routine, which I feel like is going to feel more attainable because I'm not feeling this constant crunch of time. I'm not pushing myself as much, have to read this much, have to write this much, blah, 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 blah. What I'm going to go for, I think, in the future is just the amount of time that I spend devoted to writing. I want to spend 1 to 2 hours a day. Reading, I'm not giving myself a time limit. I'm going to do it when I feel like it. Now that I'm giving myself more space to breathe and to slow down and to do other things that fulfill me, like playing a video game or maybe learning piano again, I feel like it's freed up a lot of my spirit in a way. My hiatus from YouTube wasn't really planned. I haven't really posted in the past couple months. I actually had 2 videos pre-made. The one, I'm not gonna lie to your beautiful faces, I film on my phone, and my phone is old, and I need to get a new one, and the battery doesn't stay charged. That's kind of problem number 1. But basically, one of the videos that I made was too big. The file was too big, and the way that I have to upload, because I don't pay for anything in particular to do my YouTube channel, because let's be real, I have less than 400 of you at this particular moment of time watching. I couldn't upload it. I wasn't that passionate about it, so I just deleted it. And then I had another one about the rollout of my book, and I don't know, I just feel like anytime I indie publish, something goes wrong, and I pre-made the video. I didn't feel like it was a very good representation of what my second book rollout was like, so I want to refilm that in a little bit. I think that I'm still, reading and writing are still going to be top priorities now that I've gone analog and that I've been kind of rediscovering old hobbies and things like this. I think that I'm just going to be a lot more chill about it, or I'm just, in general, feeling more chill about things than I have. So, but yeah, so that's what my life has been like since I've kind of quit social media. This is kind of why I've been a bit MIA on this channel. Part of it was doing other stuff, new hobbies, rediscovering old hobbies, I should say, working too much, phone is stupid, but I should hopefully, I'm hoping that I'm going to be uploading a lot more. I've got some content coming up. I'm filming 2 videos in 1 day today. But yeah, let me know how you guys have been doing. If you guys have tried different things to limit social media use, how you're feeling about social media right now. If you are also on this kind of journey to kind of say goodbye to brain rot and to go a little bit more analog. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.